Hi everybody, today we are doing the basics of water bathing. There's two different types of canning. There's water bathing and there's pressure canning. Water bathing is the main way that you would do your tomatoes, your fruits, your jellies, and pressure canning is your potatoes, your green beans, any kind of meat product at all. That's the general rule. Now, you want to make sure I can bend the rules a little bit. My kind of way of thinking is my kitchen, my rules. I kind of tell you guys in the videos what I'm comfortable with, and then you find what you're comfortable with. But if it says pressure can, don't water bath it. I know that there is a lot of people that have been water bathing for a long time, and what they'll do is they'll water bath something for 3 hours or something like that. And if that's what you do, no problem, but that's not what I do. And so I'm going to teach you the way that I know to, when it says water bath, just to water bath. And when it says to pressure can, just to pressure can. That's the one thing I kind of don't mess around with. Anyway, today we're water bathing. I'm doing cranberry juice. If you want to watch my cranberry juice video, it is really, really easy and very yummy to have your own homemade cranberry juice. But it's an easy one to show how to water bath. So my jar is full. I've done everything I'm supposed to do for my recipe, and I have filled it to the headspace that it tells me to. Now it'll say 1 inch headspace or a 1/2 inch headspace, depending on what it is that you're canning. And there is a reason for that. It's how much the food that you're canning is going to expand. You want to make sure that you give it enough room. So follow all of your recipes as far as your headspace goes, as much as you possibly can. After you've filled your jars, you're going to want to always clean off your rim. And this is actually an Ultimate cloth. I use them for everything. Sorry to plug them, but not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Oh, my kids are gonna make fun of me. Anyway, Ultimate cloths are great for everything. They're a streak-free cloth that you can get on ultimatecloth.com and find out more about them. But for canning, they're amazing because they get off all the sticky, all the gook, all the everything. And I use the same cloth to clean off all of my rims. Now, if you are canning something that has any kind of oil to it or grease to it, then you do want to use a little I got a little mug of vinegar and water, and I dip in my Ultimate cloth to that, and then I clean off the edge with that. The vinegar cuts that grease. So now our jar is full. We have used the correct headspace that the recipe calls for. And so now it is time for us to put a lid on it. The lids, you always use new. I don't always use that new. It's your call. You're supposed to always use them new. And sometimes I have jars that don't seal. And then that's what I eat first. So that's my kitchen. But as a general rule, get a bunch of new lids. I always have new lids around. Now your rings, you can always reuse. So you're gonna put your lid now on your clean surface. You're going to grab your ring. Now in here currently, and you're going to put it on, they say fingertip tight. Don't crank it on, because when you put it in the water bath and it's boiling, it's still going to be releasing air from the jar. So you want it to be able to release the air without releasing your product in your jar. So tip tight is fine. You don't want to crank it on there. I currently have boiling water in here. You always want to put boiling water or hot water in a hot canner, or cold water in a cold canner. If you want to bring the temperature up at the same time, there's nothing wrong with it. You're not going to break a jar. But typically when you're putting a hot item into a hot boiler. Now you can see behind me, I have 2 pots going. And, well, that's just how I roll. Cracking myself up tonight. But you want to have your water on boiling while you're canning your items. So then by the time your items are ready to go, they're hot, your canner is hot. So I'm going to take the canning tongs, probably the official word. Don't know. Looks like you would use that as the what you would use for the can, but it's not. You're actually going to use the green rubber part. You're going to slowly drop it into your boiling water. Now, key here is you have to have your jars covered by at least 1 inch of boiling water. And it's tricky because you don't know where the water level is going to be until you put the jars in it. So if you can see it right now, I'm not going to move my camera because it's a huge pain, basically. I am actually right at the top of my lids. So I have a second pot going, and I have that going because that's actually what I was using to fill my jars with. So that hot water. Now I have additional hot water in there that I am going to use to top off my canner over here. So I know I have at least an inch of boiling water over top of my jars. Now, I have an inch of boiling water over my jars. Everybody's happy. I'm going to crank my boiling water. I had turned it down because it had come to a rolling boil, and so I turned it down to medium until I waited to put my jars in. Now, since I just put my jars in, I'm going to crank it back up to high with the jars in it, bring it back to a rolling boil. Now, once it starts the rolling boil is when you are able to start your timer. So for this cranberry juice, it's 20 minutes. I don't start my 20 minutes now because it's already in the canner. I start it once it comes to a rolling boil. So once it comes to a rolling boil too, I also just kind of like when you're cooking, I kind of keep going down with my temperature until it's the lowest that I can have it at and still keep that rolling boil. After 20 minutes, you're going to pull it out. Now, some people wait 5 minutes for it to cool down. I typically have, well, you can see, I have a ton of things ready to rock and roll to go in that water bath. So I'm not going to wait 5 minutes and then, to let the jars cool down and then pop them out. I'm going to pop them out as soon as my 20 minutes is off. I'm popping those jars out and I'm putting new jars in. So we're going to act like this is a hot jar that I just pulled out of the canner. You're going to pull your jars right out of the canner, and you're going to always set them on top of some type of a towel, something, because if you put them right on top of your countertop, they're going to crack. So you're going to put it right on top of a towel and put them somewhere out of the way because you don't want to touch these for 24 hours. I typically can in the evening, so it works out great. I can the next morning. It goes all the way overnight, so no one jostles them when they're actually hot. The next day they're kind of cool, but then in the evening when I get done working or running around with the kids or whatever, then I can go back through my jars and get them all cleaned up. So once your jars have cooled 24 hours, then you're going to take your rings off and you're going to rinse them under the water. Some people wash them with vinegar water if you have something oily, or soap and water. That's up to you. But you want to take the ring off because you want to make sure that you have a good seal. Now, when you take the jars out of the canner, you'll start hearing them ping. That was a ping. And it's if you're a dork like me, it's an awesome sound. I love as I'm canning and I take my jars out and I hear ping, 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 and you almost in your head count them. Okay, well, I know, 6 have sealed, 6 of the 8 have sealed so far. But anyway, the next day you want to, take off your ring. You want to rinse them off. You want to make sure with your fingers, that you've got a nice tight seal with it. Grab your Sharpie, write your date on it, write what it is, and then you want to store your items in a cool, dark place. That's it. That is how you water bath. And I will show you, if you want to look at my videos, what the cranberry juice looks like after it's been sitting. It looks amazing. So anyway, thank you so much. If my videos are helpful, like them please. So I know that I should keep making them. They're a pain, but I wish that somebody would have taught me how to do a lot of these things. I think canning is known to be kind of an old-fashioned thing, but it's just not. In the age that we're in right now, everyone's so concerned about the junk that they're putting in our foods, what we're serving our children, and the price of our foods, and being able to serve to serve healthy foods to our families and do it affordably. And canning and preserving, you can see behind me I also dehydrate, which is something new I just started this year, but I'm obviously addicted to it as anything, because it's easy. I have a big garden, and when I don't feel like canning and I don't feel like cooking it fresh, and but I don't want my food that's free, that's organic, to go bad, I throw it in the dehydrator, and then I use it now. It's winter here. So there's just, I feel like there's just so much to share, and there's so many things that we could do for our families that's fun and healthy, and I'm enjoying doing it, and I enjoy teaching it. And so if you enjoy it, subscribe, like my page. But those are your basics on water bathing. Very easy. I probably talked way too much and made it more complicated, but that's the way that I am. So thanks so much for checking out my water bathing video, I guess. my vlog. And check out my other videos. Maybe I'll see you soon.